If you can see that fish there, just in front of all that debris there, he'll just sit there because it's almost like a suction. As that water comes down, it's displaced by either rocks or, in this case, a little bit of timber, and he'll sit there and it almost just keeps him in place without having to spend too much energy. But that's what we're looking for. As we walk up a river, we're looking for something like that. Sometimes they will be obvious, just like an actual painting. Other times it'll be like a smudge, a slightly different colour. Then you might see a little bit of movement. But just take your time, and the more you fish, the more you're looking for them, the more you're going to see. We've got a couple of fish rising in front and to the side of this structure that you can see in there. And that's a build-up of debris over time. That also makes it easier for the fish to hold station. So to stay there, use less energy because the water almost pushes them forward. And it also deflects. There's another fish on the side of that as well. Deflects food to them. So I've got to dry, because they're starting to rise now. I've got a little Adam's parachute and a 16. We're going to throw that up there in front of him and hopefully he's going to grab it. Oh, it's nice. And he knew as soon as he took that, as he's coming rushing towards me, and we're still attached, which is good. As soon as he took that, I reckon he knew that dun had a hook in it, and there was a bit of fly line attached. I can see the fright in his eyes there, but that's good. Sometimes you're just walking up the stream and you've just got to take your time. You might notice things a bit more, and in this case there was just a little bit of movement, and we sort of slowed up a bit and watched, and then there was a fish rising, which is great. So sometimes it just pays to go a little bit slower, and you never know what you can come up with. And we'll just try and use the rod. I don't want him to go out into that current too much, so if I hold him that way, and it gets it's only a little fish, but they all count, they all count. I can sort of hold him in there a little, and a shorter line can certainly steer them a lot easier. I might even be able to lead him up here because I've got to get down to be able to net him. And if I can subdue him a bit, that'd be good. No, he's not ready yet. And I guess that's just getting blasé. It's a nice little fish, a couple of pound. You should also give him a little bit of respect as well, even though he's not the monster we've been hoping for. Come on, no, he's not gonna. And that's the problem with current, even though he's not a big fish, and it just pulled out, but that's okay as well. Not a big fish, once they get into the current, that sort of almost doubles or trebles their weight, and he's just pulling in there. And if you were fair dinkum, I suppose you'd run downstream, let him go and net him 50 metres downstream. You get a bit blasé once you've caught a couple, and there's a few more rising up here. So yeah, we frightened him anyway, so that's almost caught, almost. Got another one rising there on the left pretty constantly. Let's just see if we can put this in front of him. There, and that worked okay. And that's half the thing. Again, like we talk about the visual aspect, seeing him rise, I mean, that's great, but a good pair of glasses, you can see under the surface, watch him. And if you can get that fly where it needs to be in the first or second cast, it really pays dividends, like is what's happening here. And he's a little bit bigger, this one, so we, after that other one getting away, might be a little bit more gun shy, so I might pay attention a bit more. So we just got him here, and again there's a couple more rising up there as well. So again, they're just beautiful, strong fish. They're not monsters by any means at the moment, but they're just good, powerful fish. I mean, that's a 6 weight with a good bit of stick on it in the Stalker Glide. And I find that much better for steering these fish around. Then when you do get the better ones, it's a lot easier as well. But I'll try and get him in. Ideally we want to, oh no, come on mate. Just pressure on. You want him fighting against the current. Come on mate, come back here. No, he doesn't want to. We're nearly though, nearly. You can see him sort of tiring. That's me, not the fish, but he's not coming back in front of me. Like that's better. All right, come on mate, come on. If I can get his head up. Oh, bad netting. And like that, and we can get him in. So that's a lot better. If you can get the fish in the net, it makes you feel a bit better as well. And it makes it a much better fishing show if we actually do land them. But I'll get him out and give you a closer look at him. Well, I can see more rising just up ahead. So New Zealand, it's just a place. Oh, it's just amazing. You've just got to try and get here and really experience it. Okay, on the, oh there you go. Actually, yeah, 3 3/4. So nearly up to that 4-pounder. But again, a great size, and on the dry fly, it's just great fun. We'll get him out, and this is just a solid fish of just under 4 pounds of lovely Mataura brown, and that's just in great neck. I mean, oh yeah, he's still ready to go too. Just a great specimen there, really thick across the body there. That's plenty of power. That's just a good fit fish after the spawn run early in the season now. So he's in pretty good nick. So that's something that is just great fish to target early in the season over here in Southland. And that's just a beautiful fish. I mean, you just see the depth on that. It's just a wonderful fish. So, I mean, that's why you do it. To walk up a river, beautiful surroundings. You've got snow up the top up there. You've got lovely, clean, clear, fresh water here. And you've got just under 4 pounds, this one anyway. I'm sure he's got a bigger mate up there, taking a dry fly that you can sight fish to. That's why you've done all that practice at home. Learn how to cast around corners, learn what fly to choose, and it makes it all worthwhile, just as we hold him up into the current. And we want him to get caught over and over. So you want to spend a bit of time and just hold him in there. I mean, he's in pretty good nick now, but we want him to swim away upstream, so that you know that he's going to be in pretty good nick to get back doing what he's doing and eating more and making a fly fisherman pretty happy. We'll just spend our time. Stunning spots, just incredible colours, and I just find these just a magnificent fish to target, and he's good. There you go, beautiful. And that makes it all worthwhile, Trout like that, beautiful. And to watch it swim away, and I think, you know, we can all go and buy fish from somewhere if we really needed to eat them. I don't think we fly fish to do that. We fly fish for a number of other reasons. One of them is to get out of home and spend time in some of the most wonderful places around the world. But to see a fish, regardless whether it's a trout, could be a snapper, you know, a bonefish, could be anything, but to see it swim off, and you've still had your enjoyment, but he's still got his life to lead as well. I think it's something really good as a fly fisherman that you can do. Now let's find another one.